that, yes, if you want witchcraft to work, you've got to cast a circle, because that's the only way it's going to work. So she says here, she starts telling the story. In the spring, the people desperately needed rain, but it did not come. They approached Honey the circle maker and said, now this is not from Batterson's book. This is from Raven Silverwolf's book on witchcraft and drawing circles. They approached Honey the circle maker and said, pray so that the rains will fall. Honey told the people to find sufficient cover for their mud and clay Passover ovens because they would melt in the rain. In magic, that is the mental preparation needed to set the stage for the working. Stop right here. That's what Joel Osteen and Joyce Myers and everybody else teaches. That if you don't have the right mental frame of mind, then God can't do the work. If you don't have the positive thoughts, God can't do it. So here's Honey telling everybody, no, go cover the clay ovens, because when it starts raining, it's going to come down so hard it's going to wash away all those clay ovens. So she's telling everybody that Honey told them to prepare mentally for the magic, or the magic couldn't work. And if you read anything from Myers, Osteen, even Warren, any of these people, that will tell you, oh, you got to have the right attitude. You got to think positively. You cannot think negative thoughts. You have to say this, and you have to think this way, and so on. Phooey. Phooey on that. Phooey. Nonsense on that. I have asked God for things that I didn't have a clue if He was going to do what I asked Him to do or not. I've asked God in prayer for things, and I was scared to death He was going to tell me no. I heard Ken Copeland, and I think he had Creflo Dollar Bill on his show, and they were both talking about poverty thinking. And poverty thinking is, if you have a toaster oven and the knob comes off, that it's poverty thinking says, well, get a screwdriver and screw the knob back on. Maybe you use a little super glue and glue it back on so it doesn't come off anymore, and you still got the toaster oven. Copeland says, that's poverty thinking. You need wealth thinking. You need the thinking that says, well, my toaster oven broke. I've got enough money coming from the Lord, I can buy 3 toaster ovens. So you throw out the one where the handle just come off, and you can fix it easily. The handle come off, you throw it away, and you go out and buy 3 more, even if you don't have the money. That's prosperity thinking right there. That's the mindset you got to have. Joel Osteen telling everybody, and preachers across the country parroting him by telling everybody, if you will transform your thoughts, God will transform your life. That's circle maker witchcraft. But Honey is got to get everybody up, get everybody positive mental attitude for the witchcraft. So then watch this down here. Honey prayed, but it did not rain. Uh-oh. What happened, Honey? He then realized that he had made an error. He forgot to cast the circle. No wonder the rains would not come. He had not created a stable platform for the work to manifest. Honey then cast a magic circle, possibly with a staff or rod in the dirt, though the text does not say, and stood within it. Then the rains came. So she says, what is it now? This is still Silver Ravenwolf. What is interesting about this story is that Honey then talked to God as if he were talking to anyone. He said, Master of the universe, your children have turned their faces to me because I am like a son of the house before you. Master of the universe. Lord of the universe. Who are they talking about? They're not talking to God. That's not His name. Sounds like He-Man. He's the master of the universe. I swear by your great name that I am not moving from here until you have mercy on your children. In essence, he got a bit feisty. Let's see what else is here. It's a bunch of nonsense. So far, Honey has done 4 important things. He's moved the bake ovens to indicate his faith in his ability to make rain, a physical act which, by involving the people, makes him expectant of a miracle. A physical act. He cast a magic circle to purify the area because when he just prayed, nothing happened. Therefore, someone in the crowd probably wanted to see him fail, and more than likely he wasn't centered and cast the circle to put himself in the correct frame of mind. The next thing he does is connect with deity. Now I'm going to stop right here. The idea of connecting with deity. That's an idea that you see in, well, you see it everywhere. You see Christian magazines come out with the idea of you need to connect, reconnect, connectedness. Churches marketing on the scheme of these are our connect groups. They get everybody connected. And I want you to think about this terminology. What do they do with bricks to make a wall? They connect them. What do they, here. What are you supposed to be, I should have left these out. What are you supposed to be doing with this here? I mean, the terror warrior wants to come out and save the planet, but he can't because God cut his pieces and scattered them all over the place. God did. So we have to connect all the pieces together or the terror warrior can't work. Witchcraft. Kids participating in magic spells, magic rituals, initiations, things like that. That was the bombshell, the jaw dropper from a week ago. The idea that before Mark Batterson ever came out with Honey the Circle Maker about this new thing, this new way to pray, Silver Ravenwolf came out with it. She beat him by 10 years at least. She taught that it was witchcraft. But nobody in the church is saying that it's witchcraft. Well, we can't, that's not really witchcraft because it's Jesus, right? It's not really yoga because we're quoting Scripture. It's not really contemplative prayer like mystics do because we're saying Scripture verses. What difference does it make? If God said don't do it, then we shouldn't do it. And if God warned us about witchcraft, then I would say I think we need to heed the warning that God gives us about witchcraft. Let me see what else was here. I know I covered some of this week before last, but the devil just didn't want it out there. Right now, things are pretty good. I appreciate your prayers. We seem to be streaming okay. I am feeling a little bit better, but not a whole lot. And then she talks about how Honey had passed this down from generation to generation so that you and I now know how to cast a circle, to perform witchcraft. It just makes me angry because there are people out there who want to serve God, who want to be free. And maybe you're like some of them. Maybe you prayed at one time in your life. And God didn't answer the prayer right then and there. And so you thought, well, maybe I didn't do something right. Maybe I haven't prayed enough. Maybe I don't trust Him enough. Maybe I don't have enough faith. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not praying the right words. And people, I'm telling you, it's bondage. It's bondage. Because you'll carry guilt around for the rest of your life that you didn't do enough to please God. You ever felt that way? I have. I felt like a failure, an outcast, that I couldn't do enough for God. So why would God have anything to do with me? I get those feelings. Let me read to you what pleases God. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5. By faith, Enoch was translated. How did Enoch get translated? What did he do? The Bible doesn't really ascribe anything but preaching to Enoch. How did Enoch go from this world to the next, to heaven, without dying? How did he do that? He believed God. He believed what God said. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony that he pleased God. Verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him. Without faith. You see, any dummy, any dog can draw a circle and perform a ritual in it. Anybody can do that. Mother Teresa can do it. The Pope can do it. Jews can do it. Hindus can do it. Muslims can do it. In fact, they do it. Muslims do it. When they go to Mecca, Muslims draw a circle. They walk a circle and they pray to their God. According to Mark Batterson, they should be blessed then by God. Because after all, don't the Muslims and Mark Batterson serve the same God? I would say, yeah, it looks like they do. Why? Because they're both drawing circles, praying in circles, walking around in circles. They serve, I would say, they serve the same universal God. But God said, without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Now, I believe in one-time prayers. That being said, I also believe in prevailing prayer. I have fasted before, and when I fast, I normally fast from sun up to sundown, and at the evening I will break the fast. I will take, little sips of water here and there, things like that. Does that violate it? I don't think so. I believe in fasting. I believe in prevailing prayer. But it's the idea that, God, there is something that is so hard on me and so dear to me that, God, I'm not going to stop praying until you answer somehow, some way. And I don't care what you do, just as long as you do it. That's how I think you ought to pray. God, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you make it rain or not. God, these people need rain. I'd like for it to rain. But God, whether you make rain or not is your business, God. But God, what I want you to do is what honors you and pleases your kingdom and blesses your kingdom. And then you promise that all these other things will be added to me after you. And so, God, you first. That's what I believe in. Let me see if I can read some emails that have come in here. Rick and Ruth sent me this, and they sent it to me last week, and I wanted them to send it to me again because I remembered it now. Hi, Pastor Mike. I'm sending this as requested. Glad to see you're feeling better and back to work again. The back to work again is, yes. Feeling better? I wouldn't think so. Here is the word